We're just over halfway through the season and it's been an uphill battle. There's a lot going on. You know, it's definitely a lot busier than we've ever been and bigger projects than we've ever taken on right now. Many people are crazy about finding gold. But what Parker Schnabel just pulled off is on another level entirely. He didn't just find a nugget or a pastry. He tapped into a source so rich it's almost unbelievable. Deep in a forgotten corner of Alaska, his crew hit a gold vein that looks more like a river than a deposit. But here's the kicker. The real story isn't the gold itself. It's the almost reckless plan Parker hatched to find it. A secret operation involving coded maps and a handpicked team sworn to silence. The thing nobody tells you is what they had to sacrifice to get there. Alaskan native Parker Schnabel arrived in the Yukon 8 years ago with just $140,000. He's now mined nearly $60 million worth of gold. But he's running out of ground. The Alaskan bet. Parker Schnabel, a name that now echoes with the weight of gold, didn't stumble upon his fortune. He meticulously engineered it. His target was the Klondike, a region steeped in the lore of the 19th century gold rush, where fortunes were made and lost in the blink of an eye. But Parker wasn't looking for leftover scraps. He was hunting for a prize that would make the old-timers' tales sound like bedtime stories. You mine really well and you'll make a go of it. Okay, let's do it. Thank you. Congratulations. He invested $100,000 of his own capital, a staggering sum for a teenager, to take over his grandfather's operation. This wasn't just about continuing a family legacy. It was about shattering it and building an empire. The key to his ambitious plan was a radical, untested strategy. He split his crew, a move that baffled industry veterans. He created 2 distinct units with dangerously different missions. The first, the Wolf Cut crew, was his long-term investment. Their job wasn't to find gold, at least not at first. Their mission was to venture into untouched frozen ground and dig. They clawed down 30 feet, thawing the permafrost with sheer brute force. This was grueling, soul-crushing work with no immediate reward. For weeks, they moved tons of frozen earth, finding nothing but dirt and ice. It was a massive drain on resources and morale. A gamble that seemed for a while like a colossal failure. Meanwhile, the Drift Cut crew, led by his trusted foreman Mitch and Tyson, had a mission that was the complete opposite. Find gold and find it now. It's really important that we get this extension done here as fast as we can. They were the engine of the operation, tasked with generating enough income to keep the lights on and the fuel tanks full for both teams. The pressure on them was immense. Every day without a find pushed the entire operation closer to they scoured their designated plot. Their eyes peeled for the faintest shimmer of color, the telltale sign of pay dirt. Parker was essentially running 2 separate mines, one burning cash and the other desperately trying to print it. What many overlooked is that this strategy stretched his resources thin and doubled the risk. A failure on either front would doom the entire season. The thing nobody tells you about Alaskan gold mining is the sheer scale of the operation. We're talking about machines the size of houses moving mountains of earth. A single dozer can burn through hundreds of gallons of diesel a day, an expense that can an operation in weeks. Parker was burning through cash at a terrifying rate. He needed a win and he needed it soon. Then it happened. After weeks of relentless digging, the Wolf Cut crew broke through. Their SLLE box, a machine designed to separate heavy gold from lighter gravel, suddenly lit up. It wasn't just a few flakes. It was a thick, steady stream of pure Klondike gold. The payoff for their thankless work had finally arrived, revealing a rich deposit that would secure the operation's future for years to come. In an almost unbelievable twist of fate, at nearly the same moment, the Drift Cut crew also struck gold. They had found their own honey hole, a pocket of riches large enough to fund the entire operation, and then some. Parker's insane gamble had paid off in the most spectacular way imaginable. One crew had secured the present, and the other had unlocked the future. But protecting this newfound fortune would require an even bolder move. Locking down the Klondike. With gold pouring in from 2 separate locations, Parker was faced with a new problem, one that every miner dreams of. He had too much gold to process. The sheer volume of pay dirt was overwhelming his aging equipment. His old wash plant, a relic from a bygone era, couldn't keep up. It was breaking down constantly, costing him precious time, and more importantly, losing fine gold in the process. He needed a monster, a new piece of machinery capable of handling the immense tonnage he was now unearthing. He needed Mighty Big Red. This wasn't just an upgrade. It was a multi-million-dollar investment, a state-of-the-art wash plant that could process hundreds of cubic yards of dirt per hour. Setting it up was a monumental task, requiring his crew to work around the clock. Every minute spent on construction was a minute not spent slaying gold. You see, the discovery of such a rich vein had also brought an unwanted side effect. Attention. Word travels fast in the tight-knit mining community of the Klondike. Parker knew that his success would attract rivals, claim jumpers, and thieves. He had to protect his discovery. In a move that was both decisive and controversial, he ordered all access to his mine to be shut down. He sealed off the roads, effectively creating a fortress around his operation. This allowed his crew to focus without distraction or the threat of sabotage, but it also fueled the rumor mill. What was Parker hiding? Had he truly found one of the richest pay streaks of his career? To put it mildly, the secrecy only amplified the legend of his find. The thing nobody tells you is that physical gold is incredibly dense. A 5-gallon bucket filled with gold dust and nuggets would weigh over 200 pounds, making it incredibly difficult to steal in large quantities without being noticed. But even inside his golden fortress, Parker's problems weren't over. Technology can be a cruel mistress. During one of their first major cleanups with Mighty Big Red, the crew ran into a baffling issue. The scale they were using, a standard industrial scale, wasn't giving them the right numbers. Gold isn't weighed in regular ounces. It's measured in troy ounces, a unit of measure that dates back to the Middle Ages. The difference is small but significant, especially when you're weighing thousands of dollars worth of gold. Even after sorting out the scale issue, which showed their first weigh-in at over $23,000, the machines themselves began to rebel. Mighty Big Red, the savior of the operation, was being choked by rocks. A screen inside the massive plant had torn, allowing oversized material to clog the works. The entire operation ground to a halt. Mitch, his ever-reliable mechanic, had to climb into the belly of the beast to weld the screen back together, a dangerous and time-consuming repair. The breakdown was a stark reminder of how fragile their success truly was beyond belief. Once Mitch patched up Big Red, the floodgates opened. The first cleanup from the repaired wash plant was staggering, yielding 51.6 ounces of gold, worth a cool $90,000. It was a fantastic result, but it was merely the appetizer. At the same time, Parker's other wash plant, nicknamed Sloofer, delivered a cleanup that would become the stuff of legend. The crew gathered as the final concentrate was panned out, revealing a breathtaking quantity of gold. The final tally was an almost unbelievable 360.50. That's over 22 pounds of pure gold from a single cleanup, valued at almost $600,000. The crew, hardened men who had spent their lives chasing this dream, were left speechless. They had never seen anything like it. The sheer weight of the gold was a testament to the richness of the ground they had uncovered. But the peak was yet to come. The operation was now a finely tuned machine firing on all cylinders. The pay dirt was so rich that in a single unforgettable day, the crew processed enough material to yield 253.80 of gold. In today's market, that's over $820,000 in one day. Many people are crazy about the idea of a lump sum lottery win, but this was different. This was wealth torn directly from the earth through grit, sweat, and relentless effort. To celebrate the monumental success and reward the loyalty and hard work of his team, Parker did something extraordinary. He gathered his crew and handed each of them a $12,000 bonus, not in cash, but in raw, unrefined gold. It was a powerful symbol, a direct connection between their labor and the wealth they had generated. What many overlooked is the science behind a find like this. Parker hadn't just found a random pocket of gold. He had located a pay streak, an ancient buried riverbed where gold, being 19 times heavier than water, had settled over millions of years. He was essentially mining the bottom of a prehistoric stream. The wow factor is that some of the largest placer gold deposits in the world were formed by glacial meltwater at the end of the last ice age, which concentrated gold flakes and nuggets into incredibly rich streaks, just like the one Parker found. He wasn't just lucky. His geological intuition, combined with modern exploration techniques, had led him to the perfect spot. The scale of the find was now undeniable, and Parker knew he had to protect what could be a career-defining multi-million-dollar pay streak. But as the gold piled up, so did the questions from the outside world. Secrets in the silt. With the mine on lockdown and rumors of a legendary gold find swirling, the world began to wonder what was really going on at Parker Schnabel's remote Alaskan claim. The show Gold Rush captured the drama, but viewers and critics alike started to ask, is it all real? This is where the story takes a turn, diving into the murky waters of reality television and fan theories. One of the most persistent rumors is the idea of producer's gold, the theory that the show's creators plant gold to heighten the drama for the cameras. However, the sheer scale of Parker's cleanups makes this highly improbable. The cost to fake multi-and-ounce weigh-ins would be astronomically high, and the logistics of planning that much gold without the crew knowing would be nearly impossible. The thing nobody tells you is that mining operations are subject to strict regulations and inspections, making such a deception incredibly risky. Then there's the talk of lost gold and hidden crew members. Fans have speculated that not every cleanup is shown on camera and that there are moments of failure and success that viewers never get to see. There are also theories about unseen crew members who do much of the work behind the scenes. While it's true that a reality show is an edited version of events, the core of the operation, the back-breaking labor, the mechanical failures, the thrill of the find is very real. The narrative arc is shaped for television, but the gold itself is genuine. Another layer of intrigue comes from Parker's complex land deals, particularly with his rival and landlord Tony Beets. The constant negotiation and tension over royalties and land access add another level of high-stakes drama to the proceedings. But perhaps the most interesting aspect to consider is the question, is this all just an overnight success story? Many people watching at home see the massive gold weigh-ins and think Parker just showed up and hit the jackpot. What many overlooked are the years of learning, the failures, the crushing debt, and the immense pressure that came before this massive win. He didn't just inherit his grandfather's mind. He inherited generations of knowledge and a relentless work ethic. Are we missing a key detail? The thing is, the show focuses on the eureka moments, but it can't possibly capture the thousands of hours of monotonous, frustrating work that leads to them. For every ounce of gold, there are literally tons of worthless rock and dirt that have to be moved. The real story isn't just about the gold. It's about the staggering ratio of effort to reward and the iron will required to see it through. Parker Schnabel proved that fortunes still hide beneath the frost. But was his legendary find a repeatable strategy or a once-in-a-lifetime stroke of luck? Let us know what you think. Like and subscribe for